What's up, everybody? Welcome to Malice Smack Talk, the hottest new show on the web, sponsored by Malice Corp. As always, I am Mind Freak, jumping in for the introductions real quick. So we're going to do a quick recap and then start talking Hell in a Cell predictions. So stick around.
Getting ready to seize your first opportunity to come into the ring and start grandstanding and hot dogging, yeah!
I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long.
When we speak, our voices are heard. We all say, I bring it.
Okay, so what's going on, just to let you guys know as you're joining in, we didn't want you guys to miss out on the show. So Masonic Vader has some stuff going on, and he's going to come in and join us. The stuff going on is he's got to do his punishment bet, which is the Carmella shirt, and he really doesn't want to wear that shirt. So once he comes here, I just want everybody in the chat room that's joining us to really give him a bunch of trash talk for
Please do.
having to wear a Carmella shirt. So eventually his pride will kick in and he'll actually show up on screen in full glory of the Carmella shirt. But this is the Hell in a Cell prediction show, so if you are joining us live, let us know what you think the punishment bet should be for the loser of the prediction show, who has the worst picks and ends up not winning amongst these predictions.
I want to wear that shirt. So once he comes here, I just want everybody in the chat.
I heard you.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know that I am logged in and I will be here to chat with you guys. So if you guys throw your comments out there, we can see it and we will go with that.
So
Same here.
Being that he hasn't been on the camera yet, we got thrown a little bit of a curveball. That's why I'm showing up from behind the scenes. So I want to know from these guys, like, what's going on with wrestling this week? What's the big reactions from Raw and NXT and 205? And I don't watch any of these shows, but I know all about them because you guys talk about them all the time.
That's the way to do it, man. Just jumping in. Since we're kind of doing it this way, Marty, you want to do a quick recap Raw?
Let's just talk about some of the biggest stories. Not really recap because I don't think we're going to have that much time to really go into each show. I think that a couple of the biggest shows are biggest storylines. Obviously, we have the big storyline from Raw, which is going to be essentially the Pac and the heel faction of Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and everybody on their side. And then against basically the Shield. And the way it breaks down is the Shield versus the world. So we'll hit that a little bit real quick. We can jump over to the SmackDown brand where they're going to have this big storyline between Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. And then we have the big storyline between Becky Lynch and Charlotte. And I believe that out of all of them, Becky Lynch and Charlotte is going to be the largest storyline that's being talked about outside of the wrestling right now. If we want, we could say because that's going to be a women's title match. We'll start with that one. What is your biggest reaction as far as the storyline from this week as far as Becky Lynch and Charlotte?
So with Becky and Charlotte, though, like the interesting thing about it is it's the storyline we've been wanting, and the fact that it just keeps progressing. The fact that Charlotte had the match with Sonya Deville, which she wanted, she requested it. But then just the way that Becky came out and attacked her this week, she was just sitting in the universe, just waiting for Charlotte, just that right opportunity when she started taking a picture. And then for her just to jump out at first, I'm just like, whoa, this match is going to be I think it's going to be one of the best matches of the night. Just given the heat of it, the personal level of it, of the storyline. As far as winning, I'm going Becky.
Well, it's not quite getting to the picks yet.
I thought we were getting into picks.
No, not yet. We're waiting for Masonic to show in.
We'll wait for Masonic Vader to get on.
We're giving him a chance.
So we're just kind of recapping what's been going on this week on SmackDown. We can, that I think out of all of them, that is the biggest storyline coming into wrestling right now. When you look at it, I feel like even though Ronda Rousey is the biggest name basically on the women's roster outside of WWE who's kind of come in, that's kind of been the storyline they've been trying to get and progress as far as the biggest name. But I think the most is coming from the Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch thing, and that's going to come with that family. Or that, not really family, but that close bond and friendship they have. And I think that kind of goes with wrestling as far as what they've been showing us on WWE brands is going to be that bond of friendship and personal, between them. We look at AJ and Samoa Joe, that's that friendship bond.
I want to touch base when we get to that.
Yeah, so, and then if you look at every big feud that we have going on, hell, we can have an entire show in regards to feuds and family and friendship, and how that's basically what's driving these storylines right now.
Did you almost say Family Feud?
You almost did.
I didn't. But if you want to go that route, we can. Survey says that is incorrect. So, what do you want to hit on in regards to Samoa Joe and AJ Styles?
Once again, just the sadistic nature of it and how personal it got with Joe and the Dr. Seuss style nursery rhyme story of everything that's happened up to this point. Just the fact that I'm sitting there watching this, I'm just like, really? Like, you want to turn your head away, but it's like one of those things where you kind of want to go like this and then like open your eyes, like just keep looking at it. The personal level of this storyline is just running so deep, and just the fact that Joe keeps taking it a step farther every week leading up to Hell in a Cell, it's awesome. It's awesome, but at the same time, you're just like, can't help but cringe at some of the things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And we'll get into this when we get into our picks later and start going match by match. But yeah, I think that that feud has been driven by actual heat and personal reaction, and it's really driven what the WWE's offering right now, and that they think that's going to go to a different level. It's nice seeing this is kind of giving them, I'm not going to say quite, moving it up, but I would say more of a PG-13 rather than the PG era that's kind of been in. Which I think, according to the way wrestling's been going around the world, is that they kind of got to get to that round. But at the same time, I don't really want to get too much into our thoughts on specific storylines, so I don't want to get to the picks yet. I think that's where we're leading. So how about we go ahead and kill some time by just straight up talking about some Hell in a Cell moments. This year marks the, I believe, 20th anniversary of the Mick Foley Undertaker, when Mick Foley gets broken in half. And when you look at WWE and wrestling in general, I think that Hell in a Cell match is a staple in wrestling. I think that's an iconic moment, much like Andre and Hulk Hogan in the ring at WrestleMania 3, The Rock and Hogan and in Toronto, and just some of those big moments, and the NWO and Hogan coming out and being that that third person to start NWO and the invasion, and just a lot of those iconic moments. I feel like Mick Foley being thrown off at the top of that Hell in a Cell was a moment that really changed the world of wrestling, and it's one of those things that you just hold on to. And I think the Hell in a Cell wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for that moment.
It was an iconic scene. Somebody that doesn't even watch wrestling anymore. I mean, I watched it back in that time, and yeah, it was an iconic scene. It was something that made you want to see what was going to go. Mick Foley was you wanted to see what was going to happen to him next, because he just put himself through so much, and yeah, that alone. But do you think that there's something that could happen in this? Not to go into predictions, but in this Hell in a Cell that could outdo any of those big moments from the past, or do you think that?
For me, I think if you to bring something, it's not to be a surprise. It can't be something that's going to happen in the match between the four guys in these matches. I think it's a surprise has to happen in order for it to be an iconic moment. I don't think that we're going to see anything iconic. Actually, to be honest, no. You know what? We got Jeff Hardy in the Hell in a Cell, so we absolutely could see the dude jumping off the top of the Hell in a Cell to do a senton bomb onto the announcer's table, and that would be an iconic moment.
That'd be nuts.
He's willingly doing it. We've seen
you also
like that before.
Well, you also have to realize too how many iconic. Looking back through the Attitude Era and more so the last couple of years, how many big iconic moments has Jeff Hardy had too? Like their surprise return at WrestleMania last year, to doing the swanton on top of the ladder over the bar. But then also, countless others. The swanton off the top into tables at the first ever TLC match. I believe it was Jeff that got speared off the top when he's hanging there.
Yeah, Edge speared him off when he's holding on to the ring of belts. Yep. Yeah.
So when you think, not taking anything away from McFoley, your iconic moments, but like I said, Jeff Hardy's had a lot of iconic moments himself.
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff that I can remember growing up during the Attitude Era and stuff like that.
Yeah. So looking back, I mean, there's obviously been a lot of Hell in a Cell matches. What do you think has been your maybe not favorite, but what is maybe some of your biggest memories from Hell in a Cell itself in the match itself?
Oh man, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I mean, there's so many, but I mean, still, just like I know we're bringing on the subject, and it might sound a little cliche, but I mean, it still comes back to the Mick Foley moment because it's like you said earlier. It's something. It's a staple. It's something that forever had changed the landscape of wrestling at the time, and even now to this day, it's still one of the most talked about things there is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've grown up. I've watched a lot of wrestling Hell in a Cell moments. Obviously, Undertaker is a big staple for Hell in a Cell itself. I mean, the dude is called the Dead Man, so it makes sense that he had that kind of attached to him. It wasn't the greatest Hell in a Cell match, but one that always holds true to me, and I kind of always enjoyed it. It might just because of the star power in the match. Sometimes like those movies that come out and they just have a fully loaded cast. Those movies stand out to you no matter how good they are, how bad they are. I mean, we could talk about The Expendables all day long. It may not be the greatest movie ever, but the cast that it has and it draws your attention. And Armageddon 2001, when they have the 6-man Hell in a Cell match, you have Kurt Angle, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rikishi, The Rock, Undertaker, and I believe Chris Jericho was the 6th man. There was just so much power, so much going on in that match, and it was a match that didn't stay in the cell. Obviously, you had the truck, and you had Austin going crazy over there. You had Rikishi being thrown off the top of it into the back of a haystack. The Rock being in the match, and I believe, if I remember correctly, that was the only time The Rock's ever been in a Hell in a Cell. Even with Austin, I believe that's the only time he's been in it too. But you had all these guys in this match that great things, and that was for the WWE title, and Kurt Angle retained the belt and won it that time. But there was just so much going on in the match that it wasn't the traditional. We're gonna watch in the ring, we're gonna watch someone jump off it, but we have it, and that's when obviously it's the middle of the attitude, towards the ends of the Attitude Era, so we saw just so much happening and going on that you had so much capturing your attention to that event. And I think that was just held on. And the 2001 was just such a great year in wrestling.
Oh, it was.
We had a TLC match too at WrestleMania that year. Steve Austin coming back. Triple H was gone because Triple H was injured with his knee replacement at that time with the ACL, I believe it was, and that was kind of like the invasion period too. But that was always a match that I always enjoyed. Now you can go back to watch.
Yeah, and it's even funny they bring that match up because still, to this day, one of my absolute favorite promos that The Rock did, like I think it was like a week or 2 weeks before it, when he's just making fun of everybody. He's just like,
I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people.
Shut up, you fatty.
Is it a problem that when you mentioned Armageddon, all I thought about was the movie? So
if
you were like
jump
the six people from Armageddon.
Singing,
that's totally went into my head.
If you start singing
some Steve Tyler, some Aerosmith.
Steve Tyler,
I don't want to close my eyes.
That's the moment where I officially log out.
I think
Mind freak, you're on your own today, bro.
I think we may have found our punishment bet.
Oh man, a live karaoke session on the next pay-per-view.
Have to sing the Armageddon, even though it has nothing to do with Hell in a Cell. Just sing on the Armageddon planet Earth.
It's a good thing I have no part of this podcast because I have no shame. I've actually recorded myself for karaoke and made fun of myself in my vlog. So
that is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Marty wasn't there either for the karaoke session.
What karaoke session was this one?
The one where me, Basso, Bork.
Oh, this was, I'm guessing, integrate.
Yeah, it integrate.
That was for doing the what did you guys do? Backstreet Boys or something like that, I think.
No, NSYNC. I want that.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That's Backstreet Boys. Just so you know.
Or no, not NSYNC. It was Bye Bye Bye. My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Get my boy bands mixed up. Who cares?
Yeah, get that right, man.
Yeah,
you should.
You should. But we we started this cast out. We didn't even introduce who you guys are, so.
Well, I kind of did. I said I'm Mindfree is Marty.
Okay.
You didn't say my name, but it's okay. If you don't know, my name is Marty. I am a bearded master on Twitter, Instagram. You can reach me and follow me there. When it comes down to it, I'd love talking wrestling. This is what we're gonna do. Appreciate you guys joining in and watching us. And Wes, as you're on the show, you want to go ahead and give a shout out to the main page and Malice Corp itself?
Yeah. So the main thing that goes on with this is our whole branding that we put together, Malice Corp. It really is for all things nerd. It's for anything that you guys have a passion for that you can nerd out or geek out about. These two guys here, along with Masonic Vader, who will eventually join us on the cast, clearly have a passion for wrestling, and that's why we try and get as many casts out to you guys, all you other fans out there that want to just have someone in common to talk wrestling with. I do a All Things Nerd podcast on Fridays here on Twitch, but if you head over to Malice Corp, malice-corp.com, all of our podcasts for all of our different type of shows that we have are there. You have stuff for movies, stuff for comic books, I mean, all different types of stuff, but it really is just a nerd community, a geek community where everybody can be a part, and it's not a bunch of the BS where it's somebody getting paid to say the right things or something like that, or what they can talk about. It's being able to nerd out about what you want to. So definitely head over to malice-corp.com and check us out. If you want to follow any of these guys, all the links for their Twitter handles are right there on the channel, on the screen as well. But that's as much I can go taking time away. We got a comment from him. He's coming in a minute. Where are you guys at? I'm going to text. This is live texting, guys. We are stalling. Get your ass on screen.
I mean, what it comes down to.
This is a producer's job right here.
Yeah, this is exactly what it is. The show must go on.
Is that Masonic Vader or is that Tommaso Ciampa?
Ladies and gentlemen, the NXT champion is here joining us live.
You just went full Saxton.
Yeah, no, first and foremost, the one thing he has to do is he definitely has to stand up in picture and stand back so you don't just see his chest. We want to see his head inside that Carmella shirt.
Okay, well, I mean, because I'm in my underwear. Here we go. Hold on a sec. Let me get this out of the way. Slide up a little bit there.
Moonwalking
In trash talking.
There you go.
And what's that all about?
Oh, well,
Mala
are we live right now?
You're live. You're live.
We've been live.
Yeah, so you see that right there? Yeah, so I apologize to everyone who's watching the show. Unfortunately, for the last 25 minutes or so, I've been beating myself over the head trying to put this damn shirt on.
See, I told you it's because he didn't want to wear the shirt. I told you that's why he was on the cast.
Oh, man. Let me tell you. But
he was hoping that we'd be halfway through the damn cast. Right now,
I was hoping the cast was done to be like, oh, well, I wore the shirt. I mean, look, it's right there. This is what happens when
I'm calling out right now. The punishment bet, if you are the loser, is that shirt you're wearing. You have to get tickets to an event, and you have to wear that shirt at the event.
Oh, damn. That sucks. So the next event I'm going to, Survivor Series.
But no,
rubbing it in.
That's the punishment bet I'm calling out for Masonic Vader. If he loses again, the next event he goes to, he has to wear that shirt. That's my
I'm good with that. I don't have a problem.
I will tell you this. I will even go one further and say I'll take a selfie of myself crying at the same time. How about that?
It has to be a SmackDown event, though, because it can't be a Raw event when she's not even there.
Well, who knows? Maybe she'll be traded by then. You don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, I doubt it. I mean, she's been partnered with R-Truth, so, I mean, we'll kind of see where that goes.
Which I'll actually say has been good because we don't have to see her wrestle.
And the more that Truth has the mic, the less that she's talking. And I'm okay with that, too.
She's just sitting there looking pretty.
And I'm not going to lie, she was looking much prettier this week than she has been. and I'm okay with that as well.
Well, folks, now that you have the three wet wrestling geeks and nerds here for the cast, I will be going back to my job behind the screens and watching what's going on. Have fun.
Trying to help us
cast.
out in the chat room.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's what in the wrestling business is called a part-timer.
Yes.
Oh, I'm full-time, just not with this cast.
Oh,
That's our Jonathan Coachman just showing up for the pre-show.
yeah, so while I'm thinking about this, and before we start getting into it, who did Renee replace?
Jonathan Coachman.
What happened to Coach?
He's on the pre-show now. He's now running the pre-show. They essentially swap spots.
Wow, I wonder what Coach was doing wrong. I actually liked him on there.
To be honest, I'm not going to get too controversial today because we want to talk Hell in a Cell, and that's what we want our focus to be. However, I think that what it's coming down to is, how many times over the last 6 months since Coach has been back, has he left for his on assignment with PGA and ESPN and other sports? I think this is the opportunity that lets him have that free reign to where he can go around and do the other things he's been doing because he is such a high wanted person and personality in the sports world. By only having him to have to commit to 1 day a month to do the pre-show, I think that gives him the opportunity to be able to work around his schedule more and puts Renee, making them make history, puts Renee as the main anchor.
Yeah, I was about to say that's also a big part of it too. She actually can fill the role quite nicely, which is nice. She's not just the quiet type. She gets into
nicely, not
great.
quite nicely.
She's new at it, so it's all good.
Yep, that's true.
So. But hey, thank you guys for tuning in and staying on the show. And my apologies for being late. That's how life deals the cards sometimes. But we are here to talk about Hell in the Cell. I am Masonic Vader. I missed the beginning of this, so I don't know. We know we have Mind Freak here. Do they know of the new name?
I have announced
the Wrestling Guru.
It's not the Wrestling Guru. It's the Bearded Master.
You know what? The Bearded Master is good for everything, but on this show, you got to be the Wrestling Guru. I'm sorry, man.
You can call me the Wrestling Guru all you want on the show, but my handle is going to be still Bearded Master. Reason being that the Guru, I can't tell you how many times I've been searching I've been typing in every version and everything I could find, and every damn thing has been taken and used. And what was irritating is I'm at the point where I'm about to start emailing and DMing these people to get their dang names because they've had their handles for 5 to 6 years and have only maybe 3 followers and no posts in that time frame, and they're just holding these handles, and it's quite irritating.
Believe me, I understand.
Wait for someone to pay for it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not going to send $100 million to the Nigerian prince to get that name back. I'm just saying.
I still think we need to find a love guru and just Photoshop Marty's face and do it.
I will say this: if you look at Marty when he's talking a little bit, every once in a while you'll see his beard side come out, and you can see that curl going, man.
Oh, yeah, it's got
curl.
that curl. It's got that curl. It's got right there. Right there. It's got that curl.
Sexy man.
Sexy man. Sexy man.
Sexy man. All right, so we know what we're here for. We're here for Hell in the Cell. We're here for a prediction. I have all the matches written down on paper here, so I don't have to sound like a complete tool. I did take the extra time and actually researching these matches too, as far as writing down on paper.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Yay, stepping up over here.
Hey, look, man, I direct. I'm a traffic director. I like to delegate. Come on, man. I'm a manager. That's how it rolls.
I think they need to add one more line to that T-shirt. Moonwalking, trash talking, podcast prepping. Right there. Boom, done. Salad.
Yeah. Oh, man. Now, the only thing I didn't put right down was the pre-matches.
As of right now, there is no pre-matches.
I didn't think there were, but
there's 8 matches on the entire card, and as of right now, they haven't said which one's going to be a pre-show match. I'm sure there will be at least one of them. Or you know what? Here's the thing:
205 or NXT.
205. The cruiserweight title hasn't been mentioned yet, or NXT if they want to do something like that. But at the same time, I feel like there's so much talent that they have. They could throw anybody in there just to give a pre-show match.
I think the other thing we have to take into consideration is, I guess there's only – how is it Hell in the Cell when there's only one Hell in the Cell match?
No, there's 2 matches. There's 2.
What's the other one? Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton.
And then the main match, man.
Reigns is Strowman's Hell in a Cell. Okay.
Strowman, Roman Reigns.
Gotcha. I just wrote down championship. My bad. But still, only 2 matches. Still, I was hoping maybe a couple more.
I'm hoping that a last-second audible comes in and this women's SmackDown title gets turned into a Hell in a Cell because it's gonna be fire. Pun intended.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah! All right, so let's start talking about this Hell in the Cell. This is actually gonna be. It ends up being a pretty good card. I was kind of nervous about this one. We mentioned a couple podcasts ago that it's kind of like you're in between. That this is all gonna just be filler until we got to Survivor Series and eventually Royal Rumble. But when looking at this card, this is a pretty stacked card. We have a total of 4 championship matches. Actually, no, 6 championship matches and 2 side matches. Yeah, so there's a lot of
and
stuff.
Not even to go with that. One of those title matches has 2 titles involved in it, even though only one of them's up on the line.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. So let's rock into. I would say let's get the Jeff Hardy Randy Orton match. I want to start on this right off the bat. And the only reason I want to is because I think out of all these matches, like this is your last second, like they tried to put some hype behind it. And I see you shaking your head already and saying, no, that's not the case. But the other matches outside of Rusev Day and New Day, but I think that's not necessarily last second as much as we've wanted Rusev Day to finally get their championship match, and they've been tagging for a while. So when we start with Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, what I see out of this match is we got 2 solid veterans wanting to put another feather in the cap and have a phenomenal match. Now, Jeff Hardy doesn't have to prove himself in the Hell in a Cell match because he's proven himself before. Randy Orton, same thing. Really, this is just going to be a straight fight, no championship. It's all about honor. Like I said, it's about putting that extra feather in the cap. And I want them to start off with this match, to be perfectly frank, because I think it has the potential of running away with the show. I really do.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too. And I feel like if they're going to end the show with the Hell in a Cell match, what better way than to start the show with the Hell in a Cell match? And I think that'd be great.
I totally concur. It's a Hell in a Cell champion or Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. You might as well line it up all the way. Mind Freak, when you were shaking your head earlier, throw your insights in, man. Cut us off.
So yeah, no, I wanted to let you finish before start shocking. This match, just with how crazy and inside the mind of Randy Orton, just goes to that dark place, and the fact that it's against Jeff Hardy inside the Hell in a Cell. I know we were talking a little bit on it here earlier too, like, when you think of different iconic moments other than like Mick Foley or anything like that, who's going to have like a big moment or could have a pretty good moment and stuff like that. It could be Jeff Hardy, probably doing a swanton off the top of the cell or something. I don't know. But when you think of the high flying and like just how personal, again, going with that whole personal thing, how it's going back and forth, it's going to be a great match, and I think it's like you guys said, it should be the first one to start it, and knowing those two, it's going to blow up.
Yeah, it's the thing I like about it is that it is a Hell in a Cell match, which they tend to be a little bit more exciting than your standard cage, obviously, because you're totally in it, and of course, as we already know, this is the 20th anniversary of the Mick Foley Undertaker match. Hence the reason why Mick Foley's now in one of the matches, which we'll talk about this, later on, obviously. But you've got the 2 seasoned veterans. We don't know how many more years either of them have. I think Jeff will probably go out before Randy and everything, just because of what Jeff has put his body through, in a sense. But you've got these 2 grizzled veterans trying to make their mark, trying to get themselves moved back up in the championship contention. Randy Orton was gone for a good chunk of time and just started the feud right off the bat. Jeff Hardy's been back for a while. I think they're playing with him finally switching Nero, but they just haven't gotten there yet. So, it's going to be really fun to see how these guys, how far they will take it. I could see this going super far. It could be like I said, it'd be one of those matches that we've seen in the past, like say with Seth Rollins, where, man, I don't want to watch another match. I just want to watch that one about 3 more times again because it's that good. So I think it might be the match of the night. I really do think it would.
It easily can be. I think we're obviously out of the 2 Hell in a Cell matches, I think this is the one that's primed to have the biggest oh snap moment. And we were talking, kind of mentioned it on in the pre-show when we were talking about just Hell in a Cell moments and iconic moments, and if there anything was big could happen. We know Jeff Hardy. We know what the guy puts himself through. I can easily see him being the guy who Randy Orton gets on the table, and he dives off and swanton bombs off the top of the cell onto the announcer's booth and lays him out. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hope that happens because that'd be exciting to see. But I think this is going to be a great match. It's two guys who have been around for a long time that I've always enjoyed watching. Two of my favorites. And I'm just excited to see what they're going to do. Because there's no title on the run. This is straight. I'm going to take you out, and you're going to try to hold your own, and stay relevant. And it's just a storyline that's going to, just give us a great show. And I can't wait for that.
And honestly, we'll kind of get. I'll kind of get into this a little bit when we do the predictions for this one. So yeah, I'll hold my comments of predictions.
So who's your prediction?
All right, fine. Since we're going with predictions now, I'm saying Randy Orton, and I'm a fan of Randy Orton, and I'm a fan of Jeff Hardy. But the reason I'm saying Randy Orton is because I know we've seen, like him washing away the enigma and all that stuff, and Hardy's gotten his moments in this. I think it's going to be Randy Orton, and this we're going to kind of see this is going to be Jeff Hardy becoming Brother Nero in the WWE. That's my prediction. Yeah,
and I'll give mine next. And I think, yes, this is going to be, so to speak, the deletion of Jeff Hardy, and we're going to see Brother Nero. But I also see this progressing Randy Orton. I think this is the storyline that's going to further him along as no longer being the legend killer, but being the legend itself. And he said it multiple times, I'm here to take out everyone you cheer for and everyone you hold high. I'm the man. I'm the legend. I've been here forever, and it's my show. I have Randy Orton winning too. I think that because of what this one match could hold for both personalities going forward, I think that Randy Orton needs to get the win.
Just think that Randy Orton against, say, like Samoa Joe. How's this take and how would that storyline progress? I was just thinking that when he said that. But anyway, that's just me, random thought.
Yeah, somehow we got to break away from because we can't all pick the same stuff.
We can.
There's 8 matches. I know. Hold on. There's 8 matches. I already know a couple of them. We're all going to be different on.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go Randy Orton, don't just go Randy Orton.
Well, no. Because here's where I'm at.
Don't have to pick somebody else based on what we picked, just to be the odd man out. That's how you're wearing that. That's how you're wearing that Carmella shirt right now.
No, I'm wearing a Carmella shirt because I picked one match wrong. I actually beat you, so shut up.
Sir, thank you very much.
Season, buddy, season. Anyways, no. Here's where I'm at. You got Jeff Hardy, where I want to see him go Nero, and I want him actually join up with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy because I want to see that take fruition. I think that would actually be a phenomenal stable to have. How do you do it? How does WWE do it? Do they give it to Randy Orton right off the bat to let him win it, and then that pushes him over the edge? Or does Jeff win the match but does so much to go over the edge that it just flips his switch? Ultimately, I think they will give it to Randy Orton. I'm going to go for him on that. However, I wouldn't be shocked if they give Jeff Hardy a win just to push him over. It makes more sense to Randy Orton to beat it out of him. But I could also see him doing the freaking swanton off the freaking cage, hitting the freaking table. Next thing you know, we have Brother Nero at our disposal. So it's like one of those things where do you go? Tradition tells us WWE is going to give it to Randy Orton because Randy Orton has always been a guy, one of the guys in the organization, family raised. No matter, he can't really go wrong. Even when there's been times where he's had issues with either testing or whatnot, bottom line, he's still one of the top guys, and he can't go wrong, and they will always give Randy Orton a push over anybody. Well, most people in a sense. So that's where I'm going to go with Randy Orton on that one. So we're all Randy Orton for that first match. That's it, which means we're either all going to win, we're all going to lose. So there you go. All right. Yes.
Even picks right there, so we're all good.
Yeah. So I say since we're on the tag, let's switch the tag teams.
You want to
For
switch
a
tag
minute.
teams, or do you want to get the one out of the way that has no title, has nothing to storyline?
Let's get the one out of the way.
Probably the one.
All right. We'll go. Yeah. All right. So are you talking about DB and BB and MZ and MZ or?
No, I'm talking about AJ and Samoa Joe.
Oh, that's right. That isn't a title. I thought that was a championship.
I'm
Yeah.
just joking. Yes. Let's
Oh,
talk
come
about,
on,
let's talk
man.
about
All right,
Daniel
let's
Bryan and Brie Bella.
Liquid encouragement here. Hold on a second. Yeah, Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Well, first off, if you watched SmackDown last week, it's like what I said the week before, man. Maurice is looking kind of rusty. It's going to be the guys fighting.
So is Brie Bella suicide diving into the floor.
Well, I already mentioned that fact, but at least she's actually been in the ring a couple times. Maurice hasn't been in the ring for God knows how long.
And also with a couple botches in that whole segment too. But
all I know is the fact that once I logged on and pulled SmackDown Live up this week, and when I found out that Brie Bella and Maurice were going to headline SmackDown, co-headline, even though they were the last match. Therefore, they were co-headlines, so people stuck around, but they still went on last. I was at that point. I was already ready to check out because I didn't want to watch either one of them wrestle. When I tuned into this match, I am tuning in strictly for Daniel Bryan and The Miz and see how this progresses their storyline. I think this is the moment that we're going to turn this from a G-rated Disney movie to a PG-13 thriller and see something happen. And I think that we need Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella to win this match. Obviously, as soon as that happens, we're going to get the "You Need Your Wife to Win" because you can't beat me head up, which is going to progress the storyline even further. But I think after that, it becomes personal, and not to the personal that it's been, this is what's been going on for 8 years, and this is what they've been doing. It's going to be raw and aggressive, and that's the storyline that we want to see. Maybe not to the level that we're seeing with AJ and Samoa Joe or Ciampa and Gargano, but we're definitely going to see an elevated show with the two of them. But I think that we need to see Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella win. I'm giving the win to them this match, so we can see the storyline progress down the line.
Mind Freak, jump in.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, we're gonna be talking. There's gonna be something that we're gonna agree on. Some of this one with this match, and we've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. It's going to be Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan winning. And the Miz going to come out and say exactly what Murray just said. Oh, you can't beat me one-on-one. Hide behind your wife or get the win with your wife and all that stuff. And it's and pretty much the exact point. It's going to progress the storyline. But this storyline, it's just going to be a fight. I mean, Daniel's going to want to fight. Miz is going to do what Miz does best and talk, jab, and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, this is going to be a good storyline, and I'm kind of excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, and I am also going to go with Daniel and Brie only because, and this is where literally the ladies were brought in for two reasons. First of all, the television shows. That's the main thing. You got Brie and Nikki with Divas, and then the Bellas. You've got Miz and Maurice with Miz and Maurice show. I mean, you've got these shows that needed that push, and they got their pushes out of them. That's exactly what they wanted. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind. I actually do like seeing Brie, Nikki, and back but also I like Maurice because Maurice has always been one of the top divas to stir stuff. Like the way she comes out, the whole throwing her hands up, her attitude, the way she gives you that wink and the smile when she gets in the ring. These are all things that are to Maurice and has built up that fan base for Maurice. And I don't want to see her wrestle because she hasn't wrestled in 7 freaking years. I mean, she's been out of the ring for a long time.
She just wrestled a year and a half ago at WrestleMania.
Yeah. What did you call that wrestling?
Yeah. I don't recall any wrestling happening.
Really?
She was in the ring. I remember that.
I remember her getting a Rack Attack 2.0 right before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I've seen
engagement bust happened.
I think I don't know, man. Bottom line, man, one match, 7 years, whatever. The whole thing about it is that she's not wrestling ready anymore. She's got a really bad surgically repaired back that she doesn't need to mess with. That's the reason why this match is just one of those things where it's going to plug and fire the fuel the fire to get it to get Daniel Bryan and the Miz fighting. That's what we needed. We needed it's amazing how we're talking about the fact that we need to add more fuel to this fire to get it hot, when we're going to be talking about a match later that literally did it in a month. And this is where I'm kind of pissed at this match. I thought this match would already be blood and guts, and we're still like bringing the wives in. So Daniel Bryan and Brie win it. I'm hoping that ultimately the ladies get out of the way, because I just want the guys to start doing their thing. I'm waiting for this to boil over. I'm waiting for this to carry not only through Royal Rumble, but like I mentioned before, through WrestleMania. I think it's that deep that they could do that if they play it the right way. And it's sad that another match we're going to talk about later has more freaking fire to it. Hell, NXT with Ciampa and freaking Johnny Gargano's got more fire to this. This is ridiculous. This has been going on for way too long, and they're dragging it out. It's pissing me off, but I do take Daniel Bryan Brie.
So that's 2 matches, same pick all the way across. So
we're screwed, guys.
It's gonna be a great show. Let's keep going.
Yeah, we're screwed. For all you guys watching us on live there, please go in the chat room. Tell us who you think you're gonna win. I know we're trying to tweet on the side too.
We ain't talking about predictions in the chat room.
Man. Well, I wish I could see that, but I'm unfortunately I'm the guy managing the Twitter page tonight. So hopefully getting everyone on there. Please get in there. Let's do our thing. But all right, so we got Daniel Bryan and Brie out of the way. We got Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. Let's I want to get to the tag teams. I don't want to hit the single titles. I want to go tag teams. I do want to start off with, I think between the two, going to be the more entertaining of them, and the ones that fans want to see the most of. And that's going to be New Day Rusev Day. I'm not saying that Ziggler and Drew and Seth and Dean aren't going to be the one, but I do think that more fans.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on, quit scratching your ass and start talking.
I'm scratching my back, bro.
Yeah, whatever. That's your ass
titles.
too. I mean, I thought I was looking at it too there, but yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, the Rusev Day and the New Day is going to be a great match, but the match everyone wants to see is, and probably the biggest storyline coming out of Raw, the Hounds of Justice versus the Dogs of War.
I don't want to get into that. I thought we were talking about.
I know we're not. We're talking about.
Yeah,
But he's saying the New Day and Rusev Day match is going to be the more fan favorite one. That's why
it is. It is. It is. If you look at it, I never said anything. Wait, stop. I never said anything about the best match. I just said the one that has a fan favorite. You've got 2 fan favorites. You've got New Day, who's always been a fan favorite that always gets fan pop, and you have Rusev Day, who we've been talking about them now going on 6 months. And even during that time when they were broken up for a hot minute, we were still talking about the fact that we wanted to see them still tagging together. And so now they're tagged together. There's all this harmony going on. Everyone's excited to see Rusev win a championship match.
Hey, Mind Freak.
Yeah.
Since you want to jump all over the place and back and forth and try to change up subjects when we're trying to get into a deep match conversation about a match, since you're rocking the Drink It In.
Oh my God! You're going to make the list. No, I didn't. You know what? I actually have the real list of Jericho, and I'll bring it next week's show.
Calm down, Saxon. Okay.
Wait. Are you so someone's going to spend some time at Home Depot or something to get a metal clipboard, and then you're going to write some stuff on it, and you're going to come back.
I have the clipboard. I have the clipboard already.
Arts and crafts this week, but with Marty on Twitch. Sunday night, Sunday afternoon at 1:00, so you can get to bed in time for Lawrence Welk.
Rusev Day, New Day. It's gonna be a fun match to watch.
It is
gonna be a fun match.
It's gonna be a fan favorite. That's what I said. I never said it was gonna be the best. I just think the fans are gonna like this one a lot.
Here's the thing, though. Between those 4 guys, so much can happen that this absolutely could end up being a great match. I mean, here's the thing: we have no idea who the two from the New Day are going to be. If we have, Big E and one of the other guys, and we obviously have a guy like Big E and Rusev who match up size-wise and are going to be that power to power. Or are they going to go, agility style and put Kofi and Xavier in there? And if
Which won the belts? Which won the belts?
Exactly. Exactly. So we get Xavier and Kofi in there. We can see some different things going on with them and Rusev and Aiden English. But I think obviously for this one we have to have Big E in there. I hope they have him in there just because you want to see that matchup between him and Rusev. They balance each other out.
I can see Big E and Xavier as the two that they go with.
All right, speak a little bit more on that. Don't say that. Do something. I mean, come on.
Well, no.
Dynamite drop in, Monty. Dynamite drop in.
I just dropped it. What's up? No. No, Big E and Xavier. The same idea. The power for power. And then Xavier, being a little bit more, agile. Doing some of the stuff up top and all that stuff. And that's the reason I see it. And it kind of goes back to with a lot of these past matches that they've had, it's been, Xavier and Big E, or it's been Xavier and Kofi. So I know you mentioned it, I think it was like a month or so ago, or a couple months back in some of the earlier casts that, that Xavier needs to push. So I think, another way to put him in the championship match against Rusev.
Well, again, though, I mean, that's the thing that I liked about what happened last time when they won the title was the fact that it was Xavier Woods, that it was Kofi Kingston. Xavier Woods, I swear, I'm going to say this again, and I'm even going to tweet up, down on this one, man. Xavier Woods is the most underutilized guy on the roster right now, or at least one of them. The guy's got mic skills for days. He's got talent for days. He's good inside the ring. He is good. And he has the whole persona to be able to carry something on, but they haven't given the solid push yet. Like I said, once again, it was awesome that they won it. And I hope they do it again and they do win it again and give him more of that solid push. I think it needs to get to a point where how in NXT you've got the guys running the show as far as tag team, and then they get an individual title with Adam Cole, and then he loses it again. You've got the Hounds of Justice. You got the Shield running for tag teams, and now running for and get to do the single title. Why hasn't New Day gotten this opportunity when they've been the consistent 3-man team? They should have at least all held a strap at one point or another.
Fair enough.
I mean, it does.
But yeah, no, I hope we get the payoff in this match. Here's the thing, and this may come back to bite me later, especially because I'm known to pick with my heart instead of with my head on some of these matches. I hope that we get what we deserve and hope we get what we want, and that the WWE sees and listens, and I hope that this is the audible for reason why we're even getting this match in the first place. They threw us a surprise by letting them win it last week, and I really hope that Rusev and Aiden English win the tag team belts and go forward. And I honestly believe that the reason why the New Day even won the belts from the Bludgeon Brothers was the fact to bring some more excitement in it. And if our previous cast you listen, that's what we talked about the entire time, was bringing that energy, excitement, and rejuvenating the title and the tag team division. We've done that. So now we give it to Rusev and in English, and we can see these entirely different matchups that we haven't seen for the last 4 years between the New Day and everybody else. But now we can see the Rusev Day versus everybody else, and that'd be fantastic wrestling and matches. So I'm putting my name down, and I got Rusev Day winning the tag team belts from the New Day.
My freak, who do you have, buddy?
So I'm in the same boat, but different thought process on it. I would like to see Rusev Day win it. Same idea. New Day won it to bring life back to the Raw Tag Team titles. But as much as I want Rusev Day to win the titles, I think New Day is going to retain. And my pick is going to be the New Day. And the reason for my pick to the New Day is that they advertised the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship, New Day versus The Bar at the Super Showdown.
Okay.
In Melbourne, Australia.
I'm gonna stop
you
right
can
there.
stop me right there.
Stop you
My thoughts are my own.
So,
my pick
no, that's fine. I get that, but I'm gonna stop you right there for one reason. How many shows have you gone to, and how many shows have we gone to together?
Yeah.
We went to SmackDown a couple years ago down at the Valley View Center, and they were advertising a 6-person tag team match, Roman Reigns and whoever was out at that time. But we didn't see that match. Why? Because matches and cards are subject to change, and they're going to name who's there to be that match and try to get people to buy tickets and be there. But
True,
They've
but
been talking about Melbourne for a month and a half now. They've been talking to Melbourne before they were talking about SummerSlam. So we've known what's gonna. They can't. They're gonna give us something to kind of bite and tease.
Well,
but it
here's
doesn't
the
necessarily
thing.
mean it's gonna happen. Because if we're gonna go off that route, then we already know who's gonna win the women's title match because they've already advertised who's fighting it that night too. So quit looking at the dirt sheets.
I'm not looking at the dirt sheets. The only reason I'm just thinking, sometimes it sticks, sometimes it changes. I know it changes, but look what happened at SummerSlam when they advertised AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, and it ended up happening. So it can change, but sometimes it doesn't. So I get where you're coming from. And I took that into consideration, but given the fact that it's the tag titles and with what they're trying to do with Australia, they're trying to get the big name, the big pops out of all that stuff. I think New Day's going to retain, but that's one reason. But I also, I think New Day's going to retain. They're going to hold on to a little bit, but you're going to build a feud with Rusev.
Awesome. That works because now we finally have a difference of choice of pick. So that works. Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yay! Standing ovation!
Standing ovation! Wonderful!
And I did throw in there. I picked New Day, right?
You just did.
All right, there you go. I'm throwing it in there. I'm picking New Day. Here's
where I take the lead, and I'm cool with that.
Here's the reason why I picked New Day. And it's just because like we talked about this not too long ago. WWE doesn't want to get into a, hey, win a title, lose a title, super quick kind of thing. I think Rusev Day is coming up. I think what this match is going to do is this is going to elevate Rusev Day to where that New Day is going to win, but it's going to get Rusev Day into the feel that they're going to get a rematch, potentially as quick as SmackDown, and then they win the belts. I think it's just because New Day, like Mind Freak said, New Day has a lot of positive energy about themselves when they're on SmackDown. Yeah, exactly. The power of pancakes, baby. And then when they have those belts, it just brings in that aura. But now I'm not saying Rusev Day couldn't do it. It's just I think what it'll do is it'll build up their status. They'll have a phenomenal match. They'll lose. And then they'll get a match like literally SmackDown. They'll challenge them one other time. Hey, we had such a great match. Let's give it one more try. And you know what? Win it on like SmackDown or something because they've done that before. But I think they'll keep it with the New Day for the time being. What's that?
They did it a couple weeks ago when the New Day won.
That's true. That's true. So I think New Day retains for the time being, but they're going to lose it pretty soon, and they're going to have a nice little rivalry going.
100%, I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we got ourselves through 3 matches so far. Or is that 4? It's 3 matches. Before we go any further, I just want to take a minute because I didn't get to do this at the beginning and make sure we thank our parent host site, which is Malice-Corp. You guys probably did it, but I get to say it now. It makes it sound like I'm doing my thing. Yeah, that's what the host does, right? So make sure you check out their site. It's phenomenal. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., you'll have the weekly live cast on Twitch TV. Definitely join us for that. But then also check out the other kind of shows that you get to see on YouTube and Twitch and iTunes and everything, where you got the Quest for 100, Beacon, and Big Papa Matt watching 100 movies in the movie theater. And it looks like they're going to do it even without that little movie pass thing. You also have Comics for All, Nerd Mosh Pit, tons of shows, guys. Enjoy them, watch them, laugh at them, call them silly names. That's what it's all about. But thank you very much to Malice-Corp for letting us do this here. So let's move on to let's go on to the other tag team title match. I think we should jump on the Ziggler and Drew versus Seth and Dean.
And I'm gonna make my pick for this match last.
All right, you're first, Vader.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, we got a lot of bad blood between the two. I think Ziggler and Drew have definitely been throwing their weight around and everything, and really had a positive outlook on the tag team titles itself. It has spurned some much needed fire in the tag team ranks. Seth and Dean running for the championship with the Dogs. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm giving it to Ziggler and Drew. And the reason why I'm giving it to Ziggler and Drew is because I don't think the Shield needs tag team titles right now. The thing that bugs me about the Shield, and I want to say I kind of jump on Ziggler and Drew's bandwagon here, is that the Shield has been running wild for 3 years now, at least, if not longer. They've held on to a lot of titles.
They've been back for 3 weeks.
I'm talking about the Shield as a whole. They've been with WWE for a while. Can I finish, for God's sake? God, comb your beard or something. Anyways, I there you go, sir. Thank you. Oh, and it's a switchblade one. How cute! You're trying to make yourself manly.
It is what it is.
I have a butterfly nut one somewhere.
Nice, yay! The one that has little beard has a butterfly. That's awesome. But no,
it's cool. It's just way cool.
Here's the thing. I just think that with the Shield getting the tag team championships right now, I think it's doing an injustice. I think they should let Ziggler and Drew hold on to them. They've got some good heat. They have good chemistry. It's a tag team that's just formed up. If they lose them now, you risk the possibility of kind of breaking up the little group they have with Braun right now. I'd say let them hold on to it for a little bit and start creating something, because all it's going to do is it's going to lead up to the Survivor Series and potentially even having a Survivor Series match with it. So I'm going with Ziggler and Drew, but I'm not saying that the Shield's out of the picture. I think they'll get it soon enough, but it's just, I think right now it's Ziggler and Drew's time.
Okay, I can see that, but I'm gonna have to flip it. I'm gonna say the Shield wins it, and the reason I'm saying that is because with the way that you're setting up the storyline with everything, and with all the so-called like heels, villains coming out with Braun and all Ziggler and McIntyre, it's essentially it's the Shield versus everybody else. So giving them the tag team titles, just kind of be as like, hey, we have everything, come get us kind of thing mentality, and that's kind of where I'm thinking. Not to take anything away from Drew or Ziggler. But this is just a way to progress the overall storyline that you kind of have going on.
Now, before Marty jumps into his prediction, this is where I'm going to just throw this in here. We've seen the Shield run with all the titles at one point. We've seen it.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have.
No,
not all the titles.
They had a tag team belt, and then they had the U.S. title belt. That's all they had.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll take those. That's just freaking. They've had belts, man. They've all had belts. They've all had belts in their hands. Maybe not as a cohesive unit, but they've all held championship belts. They've all been world champions. They've all been U.S. champions. I mean,
they're all grand champions. They're all grand champions.
Yeah, I think they can go on without having a belt. That's the thing. The Shield can survive without.
Oh,
belts.
I know they can, but I'm just saying for the sake of the storyline that they're going to win.
Yeah.
Marty?
All right, Marty, go for it, dude. I mean, yeah, go for it. Let's hear it, Guru.
All right.
Bearded
So here we go.
Guru.
This is the absolute biggest storyline coming off Raw. Take away Charlotte and Becky Lynch on SmackDown, and this is the biggest storyline coming out of WWE altogether. There's a couple things. So I'm going to go first, and I'll say who I'm going to pick, and then I'll go in and say why. The Shield's going to win the belts. Simple as that. It's what we're going to get, and it's going to pre-tell what my picks are going to be later. One reason, the Shield versus the world. It's been written down the entire way. Everyone, the Pack and the heel factions come out. They've destroyed them. They've laid them out, basically let them out to die in front of everyone, and just surrounded them. It's continually been we're the workhorses. We're the ones here we're working. We're destroying it. We're carrying the company. We're doing our job. We are multiple champions. We have held every title that's been known. Besides that, there's a Royal Rumble winner. There's Money in the Bank winners. They've done it all in the WWE. When they first came out at Survivor Series, they came out as the Hounds of Justice to come out and destroy everyone and make everyone pay for the mistakes they've been making and for ruining, essentially, WWE. And they've been putting people in check since day one. We got them as a small little reunion last year before everyone started getting sick and everyone got hurt, and then they just didn't go nowhere. We're getting the faction of the Shield back that is going to be the aggressive and dominating Shield. The fact that it's the Shield versus the world, they have to have these belts. They have to have every belt on there. So it is like Mind Freak said, we have all the belts. We've earned the belts. We deserve the belts because we're here working harder than anybody else. Come and try to take them. It's not going to happen. This goes a little bit further too. If you've been following WWE at all, whether it's on the WWE.com, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram or anything you follow them on. They came out with a factions list this last week, and they had the top 10 factions in WWE history. And they had their Freebirds, they had, D-Generation X, they had the Four Horsemen. And here's the thing, the Four Horsemen, who a lot of people consider the number one faction of all time. I'm not going to say I do, but they do. And they had them as number 2. Who was number 1? The Shield. And if you're going to put the Shield as the number 1 faction, and they've all had the belts, they've had different types of belts, and you're going to have them as number 1 faction and piss everybody off by having it that way, then why not give them every belt to prove that they are the number 1 faction? And no faction has ever had every single belt that's offered at one time. And by doing that, you're making them the number 1 faction on the roster. You're making them the number 1 faction in the WWE history. And you're giving them the reins to say, we are the brand. Come and try to do something. It's not going to happen. Shield walks out with all the belts that night.
And the show's over, guys. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night. I see your philosophy, but but one of those things about me is I'm also one of those guys where I've seen how WWE treats certain storylines.
Well, yeah, you're like 60 years old, so you've been watching, since back in the NWA days.
Wow, you're a dick. All right, I'm not 60, but if you were an ice cream,
62.
wait, I'm gonna take
Our
one of my
bad.
favorite quotes. If you were an ice cream, you'd be pralines and dick. All right. Yeah. So here's the thing. I see where you're coming from on it, and it makes perfect sense. I don't see them winning it because they need something good to go in the Survivor Series. This isn't the only storyline. You totally forgot about one other one that we're going to chat about later. But this is practically the only thing Raw has going for them. And when you have a pay-per-view like Survivor Series coming around, the best thing you could do is to not give Shield the belts yet, to actually drive this through Survivor Series. Give them the belts at one point, but I'll be perfectly frank. I'm one of those few fans where I'm just like, look, I've seen the Shield hold a lot of belts. I've seen these guys individually hold stuff. I've seen some tag team championship runs with them. I just, there's a point where, like you said, they said even the Four Horsemen, they say they're number 2, which I totally disagree with that, by the way. That's such a complete crap list right there, whoever made that. The Shield should never go against the 4. I mean, the Four Horsemen are always number 1 just because of the simple fact they're the original faction.
Yes,
that's it.
Agreed. Not disagreeing with that. And obviously, you have amazing talent on the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen isn't WWE though. So when you look at WWE factions that are homegrown and built in WWE, there's not a faction.
D-Generation X would go over them. That would be second. Sorry, man. He's going to walk out, but he's going to. I mean, how D-Generation X was literally the 90s, man.
So if you look at D-Generation X, and if you look at the 90s D-Generation X, which was, Triple H and Shawn Michaels in China, obviously Shawn Michaels and HBK or Triple H had the belts and did their thing, but they didn't have the belts at the same time. They didn't have none of the belts at the same time. They only had one belt at a time. But that was a tag team. That wasn't a faction. That was a tag team with China. If you look at the D-Generation X that Triple H had, when you had all those guys, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, China, Tori, Stephanie McMahon, Helmsley, they all had belts at that point. Whether it was the WWE Championship, the Women's Championship, the European title, tag team titles, they all had those belts. I think that was a better faction than the D-Generation X of the mid-90s. But when you compare what they had, the talent that D-Generation X had compared to the talent of the Shield, it doesn't compare. The fact that the Shield has better talent all around than the second generation of D-Generation X that was more of a dominating faction, they don't compare to the two. The team of Shawn Michaels and Triple H as D-Generation X, they weren't necessarily a faction at that point. They were a tag team. We're going to do our own thing. We're not going to listen to, we're going to be an authority figure, and that's who they were. They weren't a faction coming in just to kick everyone's butt and make things happen. That's not who they were. The faction of the Shield, that's exactly who they were. They're dominating as far as destroying everybody, and dominating by holding the belts. That right there puts them above the Generation X as a faction. I know we're not talking about factions right now. I'm just talking about that because that's why the Shield's going to win the belts. Just saying.
Yep.
Dynamite dropping.
No.
Yep.
No, I mean, because we're not going to get into. We can't get into this whole debate because we'll be here for an hour. But if you take each person or each unit and compare them to the equal two on the other unit, I think Triple H has Roman Reigns. I think he has him. I don't think anyone can compare to Seth Rollins when it comes to D-Generation X. I don't think they had that talent. Dean Ambrose is talented, but do you think he's so much talented, like say than Billy Gunn or whoever else is left over?
Yes.
No, I don't see it yet, man.
Okay, because Billy Gunn could do a famouser. He's so much better, and you know.
Wow,
you got the shimmy punch from Road Dogg. Okay, great. On the mic, Road Dogg is better than Dean Ambrose. I will give you that. If you're going to compare the last three guys remaining, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, the best one of those three is probably going to be X-Pac. Believe it or not, that's who I go with. And would you put Dean Ambrose versus X-Pac? I'm taking Dean Ambrose every day of the week.
I like how you sit there and you start busting on someone's individual moves when the leader, freaking Roman Reigns, has a Superman punch and a spear. Good times. Sorry, you're gonna start throwing out move matches there. You're gonna start throwing out move sets.
Okay, yeah, because we'll jump up to Triple H's 4 moves: the spine buster, the knee, the pedigree, and what does he have in the clothesline?
Two more than freaking Roman Reigns. Two more.
Samoan drop, spear, Superman punch. That's 4.
Wait, what was the first one?
The 10 clothesline in the corner.
And he does the dive off over the ropes. The first one was the drive-by.
Yep.
He doesn't even do the drive-by anymore.
Yes,
just like
he
just did
it. What are you talking about?
He doesn't do it every time.
Right.
And anyways, man.
I need glasses for that old 8-years over there. Jeez.
Oh my. Hey, you guys need to loosen up your jock straps just slightly, man. Calm down. For everyone in the show watching this on Twitch, those guys are crazy. Let me tell you, they're crazy. Calm that shit down. That beard is getting long, man. Take it easy. All right. So did everyone put in their predictions for that one or what?
Yep. We got 2 for the Shield and 1 for Ziggler McIntyre.
All right. God, awesome. That means I'm winning. All right.
Please.
So here's what I think I'm going to do. Normally you can kind of see I've been grouping these. Here I'm not going to group them. Here I think I'm going to go with what I think is going to be the tops. So I think the out of the last matches, which are all the championship ones, I'm going to start with the one that probably is not going to have as much power to it, and let's just go out there: Rousey and Bliss. I'm sorry. I can hear your pen in the background flicking, so that means it's boring as all hell. I have no interest in this match at this point. I mean, Bliss got handed to her the last match. Rousey is getting better, but I'm not seeing anything that really excites me right now. And I'm the person that was all about Rousey coming in. I've got the shirt. I would have wore if it wasn't for the fact I got to wear this crap.
Your favorite shirt, you know it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna love it.
There it is. He just said it, chat. He just said it.
Yeah.
The shirt.
I love it.
All been talking about it.
Can I finish it? I'm gonna love it more when I have to actually go to the restroom later. It's much softer than the regular 2-ply. No, I would never do that. But anyways, the thing is that I just the Rousey Bliss, I lost it. I mean, after Bliss got handed her ass, I was just done. I was done with that. I think they need to do something different with Rousey and fast. I think they need to bring the 4 horsewomen in. I think they need to bring Shayna Baszler up. She's wasting her time now trying to face off against Kari Singh. I think they need to start making that faction happen. I think they need to get her into some other comfort zone because Natty's just not doing it for me. I like Natty, but I think her being with Rousey is just not doing it for me either. Like, it's getting boring fast. As far as who I'm going to pick, I hate to say it, but it's just going to happen. Rousey's going to win because they don't want her to lose the title. She's got the name recognition. She has the face. The people like her with the belt. Fine. It gives Bliss a chance to take a little good vacation before Evolution. Whatever. I'm giving it to Rousey.
Marty.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I'm gonna agree with you 100% on that. It's boring. I've always been a component that Ronda shouldn't be there and shouldn't be with the title at least. It's Natty. I don't. Everyone knows my opinion on Natty. I think she needs to retire and go away. But this storyline isn't doing anything for anybody. It's bringing the entire women's division down on Monday Night Raw. The fact that they have to bring Nikki Bella back in to the picture for that. That's saying something, and it's not a good thing. So Ronda Rousey's going to get the match because they're not going to have her lose it to Alexa Bliss and make Alexa Bliss a 6-time champion or 5-time, whatever she is now, 10-time. But, I mean, I'd rather see Alexa with the belt than Ronda, but it's not going to happen. And this is going to lead to some other storyline that goes on to Evolution, and that's what it is.
I'm just going to say, as much as I love Alexa, everybody knows that because she's the goddess. Anyway, I agree with you both. It's just, with everything that's going on, it's just stale. Like at one point in time, I like tuning into the Raw Women's Division because they had a lot of different stuff going on. But now, like when I see it come on, I'm like, all right, let me go grab a drink real quick, grab some food. It's boring. It's stale. Something needs to be done. Something needs to revamp it. But just with everything that's going on, I agree with you. Ronda's going to retain. Hate to say it, but
I would be interested to see if they do interject. Do you think this might be the match where they do get Baszler to come up, that they start introducing the other two ladies as far as being interactive?
Evolution.
We've seen it a couple times, but do you think this would at least be the intro?
I think it is. I think that we could see them, especially the fact that you've been seeing them traveling. They've been marketing themselves, the other three at least, as the 4 horsewomen of the UFC. They've been every NXT house event they've been at. They've been showing, their merch has always been that. We're getting closer. The fact that they're all wrestling now. Shayna being in that spot where she doesn't have the title anymore and she kind of just killing time down there on NXT. I think they need to bring at least her up to be by her side. You know that they're all going to be there watching the match. They continually are there watching these matches. So yeah, I think this is the perfect opportunity to make that happen. I think this is what's going to lead to Evolution and be a big storyline for Evolution, especially because you expect them to have every single female member on the entire WWE roster, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, doesn't matter, at that event. I think you need to introduce them all as soon as possible.
I concur. Yeah, I hope I hope something comes good out of this because the lead up to it has sucked. Wouldn't it be interesting if freaking I'm going to throw a long shot out because I try to think of different scenarios that come out. Wouldn't it be interesting if they did give it the Bliss to give her the 12th title reign because Natty turned on Rousey? I mean, I've seen them do that a lot. I've seen them do that before with Natty. Natty's had that vindictive, like, hey, it's not me, it's everyone else, so I'm just going to backstab somebody and do it again, You think that's a possible?
I mean, if she does that, it'll be a DQ, so Ronda would retain. I mean, I could see that. I think that we are going to see Natty turn on Ronda at some point. That's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to happen. Probably Evolution. Who knows? We'll see. All right, we've got that done. So we know what 3 matches are left. Okay. I'm just going to say that SmackDown probably has the most volatile matches. We're going to go that way too. That one did just not come out right. Volatile. There we go. Ding. Matches. So do we want to jump into SmackDown, one of them, or do we want to finish off Raw?
Let's finish off Raw and jump to SmackDown.
Yeah. What do you think, Marty?
Everything. Marty's shaking his head no.
I know Marty
I mean, it's
doesn't.
the main event, man. It's the main event. But it's okay. We can. I will concede.
No. I mean, I could say let's just keep it. Let's just roll with the ladies in. Let's go to Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. All right.
I'm ready to talk some straight fire here.
Straight fire.
Mhm.
All right, so we know what this has been leading up to. This is one of the nasty matches we're gonna have. That I hope that, like you said in the beginning, that they do change it into a Hell in a Cell, because I think it's worthy enough to have some of that. This is gonna be carnage, and I don't want anybody jumping in on this. I don't want anyone ruining this match. This match needs to go from bell to bell, and it's got to be untouched. It's got to be winner has to win. No controversy. This has to be a winning match, and I mean, that's my 2 cents on it. This has to be a winning match.
Yeah. If they're trying to set this up as a first match to have a finale match at Evolution, I'm gonna be pretty pissed off about that. It's not gonna don't give us that. Give us what we want. Give us a solid match. You have the 2 best female wrestlers on SmackDown, 2 of the best on the entire WWE roster wrestling each other. 2 the people that were best friends. Both have stabbed each other in the back in the past. Charlotte stole the spotlight from Becky Lynch for no reason, just because she happened to show up. Becky Lynch deserves it, earned it, and needs to be there and have that belt. Being the fact that she hasn't had the belt in 2 years, and Charlotte's had 4 different reigns in the exact same time period, is ridiculous. They need to make this happen. They need to make this a bell-to-bell wrestling match. Let them both beat each other up. Let them have some great spots. This is going to be, this is going to have to be a match that ends in a tap out. Not a pin, not a finisher, but a full-on tap out. Whether it be Becky getting there in the armbar, whether it be Charlotte with the figure 8, it doesn't matter. It needs to finish with a tap, because that's what they're known for. That's what they've done. That's the women's evolution has come to wrestling, and that's what they need to give us. If they give Charlotte this belt, this win, man, they're going backwards on this, because nobody wants her to have this belt. Everyone talks about how Roman Reigns is pushed and shoved down our throats. Charlotte Flair, I think she's at the level where she has possibly surpassed Roman Reigns being pushed in her face, because of the fact that she continually has the belt and Roman just got the belt, even though he's been chasing it for so long. If I hadn't said it, Becky Lynch for the win.
My freak, you're up, dude.
Based on everything that's happened, it's
Wait, 1 sec. Sorry.
he
Give a
froze.
moment. Not only was there a nice dramatic pause there, but it almost started like at the beginning of a CSI. Based on the evidence that we have presented. And there you go. So
There it is.
let me do the dun dun. Go for it.
That was Law and Order, not CSI. Okay, you got your shows mixed up.
I don't watch that
Your
crap.
age showing.
Yeah, good times. Let's see.
Yeah, right.
No, move on.
Yeah, moving on. Based on everything that's happened, it's Becky needs to win this belt. She absolutely has to. And the reason it goes, leading up to, yes, it's been 2 years since Becky last had it. But just look at the last couple months. She's been fighting her way, clawing her way to get back up to this top spot. She's done everything right to earn the belt, just to have it stolen from Charlotte at SummerSlam. I mean, yeah, granted, I know we got this feud, but it's the context of the way that we got this feud. And yes, we saw Becky do a heel turn, but you saw the entire crowd behind her cheering her for it. It's one of those things where to me it looks like it's not necessarily, well, I'll say it, entitlement, hard work. Becky is entitled to the belt, yes, but the way she's done it, she's fought for it, she's clawed her way, given the blood, sweat, the tears, the hard work for it. Charlotte came in and just won one match and was put into the match and was able to win the belt for it. So that's my 2 cents on it. I can go on a lot more on this, but Becky needs to win, and I'm picking Becky to win it.
Well, this is the live cast show. You can go as long as you freaking want on this, man. If you want to pee all over the fire, please do.
I know, but you also have to realize we may have some folks on the East Coast, and it's 2:30 out there for them. So I want to be mindful, make sure they get a little bit of sleep.
Well, I'll put it this way: if they're watching us if they're watching us at 2:30 in the morning, first of all, we love you guys. Second of all,
secondly, we love you absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know it's Friday morning. They have to go to work, last day of work. So I'm trying to be mindful of you guys. We love We love and thank you for your support this late at night.
2:30 in the morning, they're watching our show. That means they're not going to sleep anytime soon. Enough said.
Check out some live gameplay here after the podcast.
Oh, look at that. A little quick plug there. Not only that, I'm hoping if you are watching it, and I don't know if we've mentioned this already, but for our fans and friends down in the southeast there, if you're even able to pick this up with what's going on with Hurricane Florence, I hope you guys are safe, and I hope your families are safe. And please do understand you're in our prayers and blessings. Make it through safe. Be safe. Don't go be doing stupid stuff. We want to definitely talk to you and chat with you guys more. So be safe and keep your families close to you. I'm gonna go in there. Evolution.
I know.
Evolution needs something to just make it happen. To have all the ladies coming in and having Trish coming in and everything, it sounds great and I like it. But I think the only way you're going to be able to make Evolution really happen is if you have some hardcore, serious main event. This could be the hardcore, serious main event that they could use. Now, it just depends on which way you want to look at it. Is it Charlotte loses, Becky Lynch wins, and then she gets the belt going in Evolution, and then she either carries it on, or they give it up to Charlotte again. And there's a potential that Charlotte could get it again if that happens. Ultimately, when it's down to it, Charlotte is one of the bigger draws in the WWE's women division right now. Call it her name, call it whatever, but bottom line, she is still one of the biggest draws for the women. How I see it happening is this. Marty and you guys are going to hate this, but I think they're going to give it to Charlotte. Somehow Charlotte's going to walk out with the belt. The only reason why I think that is it's going to piss off so many people. It's going to put so much fire on this rivalry that it might actually start surpassing some of the ones we've been talking about and what we're going to talk about and headline Evolution. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if not only is it the first women's pay-per-view, but it's also the pay-per-view where Becky Lynch wins the title headlining the women's pay-per-view. That's where I could see the potential going out of it. If you give it to her now, which is fine, everyone's going to like it, everyone's going to dig it, but I think you're going to lose some of the pop you would get as if you just carried it one more pay-per-view and got it to the Evolution. And then win it there.
You're thinking too logically.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I can't agree with you because I don't care. I don't want to wait 3 more weeks. I want Becky with the belt now. So as logical and as much sense it makes and probably correct, I'm going to give up one of my picks because I'm still keeping Becky as the winner. I want her now. I don't want to wait. I'm tired of waiting. I had to wait forever for Roman to get the belt. I'm tired of waiting for Becky to get the belt. She needs the belt, and I want it now.
And Marty's probably going to rip on me for this one, but I 100% agree with that statement. I get the logic behind it. I get all of that. I can see that happening. But damn it, I want Becky with the belt.
Yeah, you guys are like fantasy football players who pick their favorite player just because. Yeah,
you know what?
Hey,
I didn't get my favorite player on either of my teams this season, and I won my games. So
I drafted him first. I don't care. I'll say I drafted Gronk in the first round.
That's Gronk, though. That's different.
I know.
My favorite player is a quarterback. You don't pick a quarterback first.
No, you pick him in the 4th round. Maybe
so,
3rd, like I did.
So as we don't want to deviate too far, I'm going back and I'm going to say it's going to be Charlotte for the win. I don't know how it's going to happen. It's probably going to be an ugly win. It's not going to be a tap out, but it's not. It's going to be Charlotte for the win, and they're gonna make that fire, that straight fire, turn into freaking coal, freaking bend metal fire, and Evolution is going to be where she rips it apart. So, all right, so we got that. So we're down to the 2 title matches. 2 title matches. Now I got to find something here because I'm going to let me see here. All right.
Oh, do you have another Carmella shirt?
No, I don't have another Carmella shirt. I can only afford one. Here is heads. Here is tails. Marty, heads or tails?
I'm going to call tails.
It is heads. So we're gonna start off with your match.
All right.
Reigns versus Strowman. And with this week, they did add that little twist in there, and it was more of that WWE flair to try to live on nostalgia as long as they can. Mick Foley is going to be the guest referee for the match. Good old Mick Foley coming out of nowhere. Just talk about the match now.
No, not coming out of nowhere. It wasn't the
No,
20th
it's not.
anniversary of him being thrown off the top of the cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. In fact, I even did. You guys see like the vignettes they did for that and everything, and what the guys were saying and talking about it and everything?
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's
great.
hardcore, bro. That's one of those matches you can go back and watch as many times as you want. It's still freaking amazing. It's just to not only be thrown off the side, and that was made on top of the cage. That decision was made on the cage to do what they initially were going to do anyways, which was get chokeslammed through the cage. After that. And to top it all off, you got freaking bed attacks. I mean, I think the tax was the icing on the cake right there. I saw that. I was like, good God, what the hell? That's ECW at its finest. But all right, enough living on that nostalgia there. This is out of the last two matches, I know there's personal heat there, but I think it's more of just Braun Strowman just wanting to beat the snot out of him versus anything. I'm kind of glad we're talking about this one first versus the other, just because, like I said, the personal heat there is just amazing. But this is going to be a great match. I do think that it's going to be one of those matches that we're going to see some crazy stuff. You got someone like Braun Strowman in there. I just hope they don't go Big Show and have him like throwing someone through it or something. We've seen that stuff enough. We need to see something new with Reigns and Strowman. And these two guys are the type of guys that you can pull off brand new stuff. Just, oh my God, holy S, whatever you want to call it. I want to see that with this match. Now I'm going to hold off on my pick on this, only because, like I've already mentioned earlier, I'm trying to navigate two things here. But I think we should start off with Mind Freak on this one, because Marty's going to have a lot to say on this too. So Mind Freak, why don't you tell us what you think is going to be happening with the Braun Strowman Reigns match?
I'm going to make it short and sweet. I already said it earlier. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be a grueling match. But in the end of it, Roman's going to retain. And you're going to have the entire Shield with all the belts. Short, sweet, and simple.
You know, sometimes we don't like short and sweet and simple. That it's always good to talk a little bit longer as someone's trying to use his big nubby fingers on the texting screen here.
Yeah, I know.
I guess that's what
the other reason too, because I know what Marty's going to say, and I know Marty's going to go a little bit more.
I guess that's why we got Marty, huh?
well, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, the exact same points that I made for the Ambrose Rollins versus McIntyre and Ziggler match. It's going to have some of the same points in this match, just based on the prediction of that one and what's going to happen. It's going to be the Shield versus the World.
Okay. All right, Marty.
Okay, so a lot of things going on with this match. Not only do we have it as a Hell in a Cell match, and it's most likely going to end up being the finale of the entire show, was also the Money in the Bank cash-in. So this is Braun Strowman cashing his briefcase that he won to essentially try to win this belt and cash that contract in. So a lot of moving parts. The fact that the two of them have been the leads of their two respective teams that have beat each other up, with essentially the Pac being the ones who kind of get the upper hand on the Shield consistently. This is a match that I think is going to be a great showing. We're going to see a lot of physicality and aggressiveness. I do think we're going to see someone going through the match, whether it be Braun trying to tackle him through it or Roman spearing Braun through the cage. Because I think that as great of a match as it's going to be, I think it does need to venture out of the Hell in a Cell, just because they all do, you know. And I want to see the two of them up on the top of that cell and fighting it out. And I wouldn't even mind seeing one of them get thrown through the top of the cell and ended up on the mat. And I think that's going to be the oh wow moment to happen. It's kind of hard to me. If they're going to have a Hell in a Cell match, there needs to be some kind of wow and shock moment. And I think that them going through the cell would be fantastic. But yes, Shield and Roman, it's them against the world. Everyone's come out and attacked them. Everyone's come out to separate them from trying to get some revenge on Braun, Dolph, and Drew McIntyre. they need to get those belts. They need to own it and say, walk around. We are the WWE. Nobody's bigger than us. We are the workhorses. This is who we're going to be. And I know I'm going to reiterate some of the stuff I said earlier, but this is also going to go something you said during the match we discussed earlier regarding the New Day and Rusev Day. You chose a New Day because one reason was the fact that the WWE is used to getting the belts and flipping them really quick, and how we don't need that. We need people to hold these belts a little bit longer. Roman Reigns just won these belts less than a month ago. So if that's the case, why the hell would we have him changing the belt out right away after spending 2 years trying to get this belt? Doesn't make any sense to have Braun win this belt from him, besides the fact of him just being Roman. Obviously, it's probably given what majority of the fan base wants, but those who are Roman fans know that that's not what we want, and we want Roman to have that belt, and we want him to have a decent run with it. I'm not saying he has to have the longest run ever, but needs to have some time behind it. And if we're not going to have, if you're going to talk about the New Day and them not giving up the belts right away, then the belt that they're trying to validate and give some kind of support behind it, because they really haven't had it for 2 years, is that Universal title, and that's building up something, a champion who's consistently fighting it. And I don't think that Braun gets a belt. We're going to see that happen. I think Roman's going to continually show someone who's showing up every Monday night and fighting for this belt. Roman Reigns wins the belt. The Shield walk out. I think we're going to see some involvement from the others. I don't think we see a Hell in a Cell match for the title without Dolph and Drew McIntyre showing up, or Seth and Dean showing up. And I think that that's what helps us out, is that the fact that they're going to win the tag team belts. And I believe that earlier in the night, that Roman wins the belts. They all come in, they beat the three of them up, and we end the night with all three of them in the middle of the ring holding all four belts. Hell, I'll even go one more up. All three of them sitting on top of the cell with all four belts. We are the WWE, and nobody's coming close to us.
What's the fourth belt?
Yeah.
Okay.
The two tags I see.
Okay, two tag team belts. So
well, no, it's 4 belts, but yeah, 3 championships, 4 belts. No, I get what
I was like, wait a sec, what did we miss, man? I only drank one beer. Come on.
Oh, you didn't see that Dean Ambrose cross brand and stole the U.S. title from Nakamura?
Yeah, you didn't see that.
Ah, man. Anyways, so here's where I think I'm going to shock you guys. I'm going with Roman Reigns.
I knew you were.
Nah, you didn't.
Informist.
Here's the reason why I go with Roman Reigns. It's because I've already said earlier that Ziggler and Drew are going to win the belts for the tag team title. It makes sense to keep Roman Reigns with the belt for reasons like we mentioned before. However, I think it's the faction war that they need for Raw right now. They need something to keep pushing life into it as they start bringing more talent in. Because right now, Raw is 3 hours of freaking commercials. The one thing I can't stand about watching 3 hours of wrestling is that about an hour of it is freaking commercials. And I'm getting tired of seeing commercials about stupid mattresses. Particularly one that starts with an L. All right. I'm just over it. And they need some heat that continues on. Like, I really like the fact that you were seeing Shield getting ejected and coming back, seeing the good guys and the bad guys and having these big old wars all starting because of the fact that we have these factions fighting. They need to have that. And Roman Reigns needs to hold on to the belt, because there's no one more deserving to have that belt right now. Now, does that mean he's not going to lose it sooner? He'll lose it. He's not going to hold it for a year or 2 years or anything. He's definitely going to hold on to enough to put his imprint on it, but he doesn't need to lose it now. I don't think Raw needs him to lose it now until they actually get some big name coming out of nowhere that's like, oh, I'm going to challenge you for the belt. It should be Roman Reigns to keep. I think Braun Strowman is definitely earning his paychecks. He's becoming one of the top guys on the show. And if it wasn't for the fact that he did join up with Drew McIntyre and Ziggler, I would have said it would have been Braun Strowman. But however, since they have him doing this faction thing, it makes no sense for him to get the belt right now. And it just makes it to where it just drags it on. Once again, one of those storylines that helps us drag on, because Survivor Series has lost its punch. And then you got You got the one down in Australia, which I think is just we're not even talking about that, and going into the Royal Rumble. So they need to have something that carries some fire in Raw until some heat starts building somewhere else. And that is your best line right now for Raw. So Roman Reigns retains his title. And yes, I think somehow, one way or another, the other Dumases get involved in the match. And that's it's going to piss me off because I hate it when you have a Hell in a Cell match or any type of match that's supposed to keep everyone out, doesn't keep them out. So someone's going to screw it up somehow. It's just going to mess up the match. I think it's going to be a great match until people get involved. And Roman Reigns ends up winning the match.
We're going to see the fourth member of the Shield show up.
Yep.
It's gonna be after Baron Corbin comes out to get some revenge on the Shield for making him look like a stooge. And that fourth member is going to be the return to Kurt Angle. Not that I want that to happen, but I'm just saying. I can see Kurt Angle returning Hell in a Cell.
Or Finn Balor.
No, you know what? No. If you see some of the stuff, I actually saw this, and I was going to maybe bring it up here. I didn't want to skew too far because we're not trying to talk about future stuff, but yeah, going to the point where it's starting to set up that Survivor Series, and the captains are going to be freaking Kurt Angle and freaking Baron Corbin.
That'll lead to the teams I put together last week. Just saying.
Yep. Yeah, which Baron Corbin's the constable. Anyways, moving on. All right, so everyone got our picks in, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, so we're talking about the last match of the night, which I think is going to be the brutal match of the night. I mean, this is just going to be barbaric in every sense of the word. I know it's not no holds barred or anything like that, but it's going to be a freaking brutal match. And it's AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. So freaking personal. It's been one of the most personal storylines I've seen WWE come out with in a long time, since the days of Triple H raiding Randy Orton's home or Stephanie McMahon getting put up on a cross and her dad's the whatever. But this is actually like real life, believable, hitting you at home stuff. We talked about last week at great lengths. It's amazing. I would love to see those conversations that they have with the kids. But let's get right to the match. This is the match I am actually looking forward to. Marty, I'm gonna start with you this time. And the reason why is because you had a little bit of turn in faith in what's been going on, so it might as well kind of have that going on. So let's keep going.
Guys, you guys all know my thoughts on AJ Styles. You know my thoughts on Samoa Joe. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time and don't know those, I can't stand Samoa Joe. And I love AJ Styles. I don't care for Samoa Joe's character. And AJ Styles I've been a fan of for years. The two of them have come up in the business together and have done things at all levels and have done amazing things together. I don't think we've seen any of the match that has really shown that yet. Even the last match was a great match. I don't think they still have even touched the surface of what the two of them can do in the ring. As far as this feud goes with them, I haven't seen a feud this personal or this, I wouldn't even say aggressive, but this is something to this that's just so to the core. And it's amazing. It's captivating and it's got my attention. And before this, I didn't want to see Samoa Joe anywhere near the belt. I didn't even want to see him looking at it through the window. That's just how I felt. Because of the promos that he'd been doing prior to SummerSlam, at SummerSlam, and now, man, he's captivated me. He's got me sold. I think this is a great match. I could see him, if he were to win the title, him being a great champion, a heel champion at that. But, Wendy, Annie, I'm coming home. It's amazing. It's just the fact he's going there is just fantastic. It's phenomenal is what it is. I want AJ Styles to win this belt. That being said, my pick is Samoa Joe. And I'm going that route. I'm taking Samoa Joe to win the belt from AJ Styles. I don't think the work he's been doing the last month or so has earned him a spot in this match and for the title, and I think he deserves it. And I think he's done enough to sell me on him holding that strap. while AJ gets some time to chase and recoup a little bit and rebrand himself. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Samoa Joe with the WWE title.
I think we're done, Marty. We'll just leave it at that, bro. That's it. Gone.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marty, throw it in, dude. What do you think?
Mind Freak. Let's do it.
Oh, Mind Freak, that too. Yeah, we already heard what Marty thinks. Go for it, Mind Freak.
So, I mean, if you guys watched the cast before, you kind of know where I stand. I like AJ Styles as well, but I also like Samoa Joe. And this Samoa Joe that we got is the most sadistic Samoa Joe ever. Like, even like, just the last promo on the last SmackDown a couple nights ago with that storybook, it was that, it's where, like, you're cringing, but you're so invested in it. It's great. What else can I say? It's great. For that reason, too, I am going to be picking Samoa Joe. For the reason that, he was time at NXT when he was the NXT champion. Again, he was that heel champion kind of esque. This is him coming out, developing his character a lot more. But also at the same time, as much as I love AJ, he needs to drop the belt. He's had it for almost a year now. We're like almost 2 months away from him having it in a full year when he won it from Jinder in London last year. So if he held it in longer, not to say it would happen, but he's just had it too long. As much as I love AJ, I'm going Samoa Joe just so, rebrand himself, revamp him, take some time off. Kind of, just let a new champion go with it, bring in this new age. Do I see this feud lasting a little bit longer? I do. I'm not sure how long. AJ trying to retain the title and anything like that. Or it could be brought up something later on down the road. But Samoa Joe's my pick for this one.
And he did the Samoa Joe. All right, there you go. Look at that, dude, right at the end. Yeah, I think we're all going to be on the same page here, man. I think Samoa Joe takes it. Now, first of all, I have to admit, hearing them say Samoa Joe, these two guys, man, they love soccer moms. Let me tell you. They've been hanging on AJ Styles since day one, man, and you can tell it. And especially with Marty. Marty is definitely pro AJ, and up until like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, Samoa Joe could just find a new gig at this point. That's his whole life and philosophy and stuff, man. That's what it was at the time. So this has got to be, I mentioned it right off the bat, this is going to be the most personal match we've ever seen and potentially all together in WWE. I'm sorry, but Wendy, I'm coming home, hey, you want
daddy now.
Wendy.
Yeah, I'll be your daddy now.
Daddy's going night.
Oh yeah, I was wrong about one thing. Daddy's not coming home because he's already in bed. I mean, it's just it's crazy, man. The amount of stuff spewing out of Samoa Joe. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. This is what Samoa Joe I wanted to see, because I up until he came into NXT, I saw little exhibits of it and stuff from Impact Wrestling, and the ones I did see of him, I was like, holy crap, this guy's he's big, he's athletic, and he's a total prick. This is like an ultimate bad guy. I love this guy, but I just didn't get into Impact Wrestling to be able to, or TNA to be able to really get onto the train. When I saw him show up in NXT, I started seeing what people were so interested about: his skill, his move sets, his skill sets. A guy that size who looks like he's probably had a couple too many of whatever you're eating, he still moves way, way better than most, like a lot of cruiserweights, man. I mean, it's amazing, huh?
And he's the SoCal, the SoCal homeboy.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's nice to see. Yeah, Marty just all of a sudden he did a guru's look. Oh man. other than the fact he's SoCal. I mean, bottom line, man, he the guy is just phenomenal, and I'm taking AJ's line because he is. Because now I'm seeing the part of Samoa Joe that people have talked about in the past. I'm seeing the mental. Like he's brushing Triple H freaking cerebral assassin level here, man. He's really hitting it in all points, and it is some of the best promos, mic skills I have seen in a long time.
I mean, he was Triple H's destroyer at one point.
That's
too.
true. He was, but he's taking this personal to a whole new level. It's great. I think he wins it for two reasons. I think SmackDown needs a really bad anti-hero. He's not even an anti-hero. He's just people like to cheer for him, and he's just really bad. And they need this. They need that for SmackDown right now. I think the house that AJ built has been worn. It's been cleaned, but it's been worn. It's time to kind of like move into a new house.
Well, SmackDown Live will forever be the house that AJ Styles built. You cannot take that away from him.
Except for the fact that SmackDown Live was actually coined after freaking The Rock. So it's never AJ's, it's The Rock. So he could take that and
the revamped version.
He could take
Not
that
trying
in.
to take anything away from the Great One. Why would you even think I'd take anything away from the Great One?
Because that's
Did
the
you
one.
just assume my loyalty, bro?
Are you done? Hold on a second. Do you need to let this get out a little bit more, man? Have you been penning this up a little bit? You need a little. Do we need to have a little psychology? Get on the couch time? What's going on, dude?
Yeah.
You all right?
What do you think?
You good? Can I finish now?
What do you think?
Because AJ's been trying. AJ's been.
No, go ahead.
And then he goes ahead and uses The Rock. See my point exactly. AJ's hijacked SmackDown. Don't get me wrong. He's been the main draw of that show. He's been the main person. But this is never the house that AJ built. This was just the house that AJ moved into. This has always been the house that Rock started. The Rock started SmackDown. All right? It was all about The Rock. AJ just moved into the house. He's paying rent. That's literally what it is. Well, guess what? His year lease is up, and it's time for Soccer Mom to move out for a hot minute. Bring in Samoa Joe. Let a bad guy run SmackDown, because SmackDown right now needs that. In fact, both shows right now, they're sparking on possibilities of starting to catch heat again, but they need more than just a couple big headlines. So I'm glad that Samoa Joe is going to hopefully going to get that belt, and he's going to run SmackDown for a while. I think it's going to work up perfect up this to where I'm sure if they do a traditional Survivor Series, Samoa Joe leading a faction versus AJ AJ Styles too. Give him the lead. But that's what it's going to give SmackDown, and then it goes to the Royal Rumble. So I'm taking Samoa Joe. So how does that lead us, man? So
that puts us at 5 matches across the board, and that puts us at 3 matches with different picks. So it's going to come – basically, this is going to come down to the SmackDown titles, the Raw Tag Team titles, and Charlotte and Becky to decide who the winner of this match is. And it looks like we have a different mixture. Nope. It looks like – damn you. Looks like Mind Freak has the exact same picks as me, the entire card, so that's fantastic. No. I digress. Because Mind Freak has the New Day retaining the belts, and I have Rusev Day winning the belts. So it's going to come down to Rusev and Aiden English celebrating Rusev Day to get me the win.
No. Oh, Dallas!
That was as flat as it was when they came out as pastors and preachers and worshipers. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to go really loud, wake up all my neighbors right now?
You live in the middle of the desert. Do you really have neighbors around?
Yeah,
other than coyotes and roadrunners?
Hey, just because I didn't live out in the middle of the desert, or somebody moved, better being inland.
So we got to come up with some punishments. We got to come up with the punishments. So We got to figure out who loses, what happens. I know our producer recommended something for me, and I'll just say that's probably going to be a little unrealistic.
Well, before you came on, when I don't know, we were talking about Armageddon, like different LSL matches before you came on. I was like, somebody has to do the Armageddon theme song from the movie karaoke on the podcast.
Well, apparently you guys have the singing chops here, so I'll leave that to one of you probably. I don't know.
It doesn't really matter because I'm not going to lose. So you guys do what you guys want.
I didn't lose. What are you talking about?
Well, of course. All right. So let's chat. So what happens? Mind Freak ends up losing because he got lucky last time. What do we do with Mind Freak, huh? What do we do with the Mind Freak? What do you think, Marty?
I feel like he needs to tweet them, just tweet or something about the Miz, how much the Miz sucks, and how he's his most hated wrestler he's ever followed and watched.
Is there a shirt that says that?
Why would you do that?
Miz is awful.
Why would you do that to me?
And I suck. I don't, something along those lines.
We got to find out if there's a shirt for that. Is it like the Miz is awful or something like that? I don't know. Don't they have one of those around there somewhere?
I think so. I think so.
For his fantasy football league that he's doing, the little charity thing where you play with or against him. I'm on his team. Come on now.
Well, that's going to be a rough loss. Then you better hope you don't. That's all right, because I think I'm agreeing with Marty on that one. I think we're gonna have to come up with something for that on the Miz there, buddy.
Oh man,
you're talking about that
Miz,
gang.
if you're watching this, if I lose, I have to do it because I lose. But you're still awesome. You're still the best.
He's not watching it because of you, buddy. That's all I gotta say. All right, so Mind Freak. So now I go to you, man. What if the bearded wonder, the wrestling guru, the beard master, really could take that in the wrong direction?
All right. If you're going to put that evil on me and make me talk down about the Biz, which will be hard for me, Marty, if you lose, next podcast, you got to wear a Revival shirt.
Oh. Hey, I'm going to throw a little twist in there. It's got to be true Revival shirt. In other words, you got to wear it a size small so you can show your muffin top, dude. Yes.
Wonderful!
Yes.
Standing ovation! Yes. Standing ovation!
Yes. So
I'm not going to lose, so I'm okay with that.
All I know is you better shave, buddy. You better shave. I don't want to see hairy muffin top, buddy. I just want to see muffin top and Revival, buddy. All right, so you guys bring it to me. What happens if I lose? I've already come through already.
You did.
I'm going to stand up and show everyone, look, moonwalking, trash talking. You know who wears this shirt. Unfortunately, it's the one that actually, there you go. I prove that I'm a man of my word. So what is it going to be for me?
I'm going to go and let you take the reins on this one, Mind Freak, and let's see what you got on this one.
Oh, man, that's a tough one, dude.
Now, for our friends on the East Coast here who's dragging this show on, there you go. All right, he's talking about, oh, dude.
I don't know. I mean, what do you got, Marty? I diverge to you.
Man, I think we need to get him to wear that post that shirt online, and try to get that to Carmella. Let him know he's our number one fan.
Him wearing the shirt saying he's Carmella's number one fan. Ooh.
You know what? And now here's the thing, though, and this is my 2 cents on this. I would be glad to do that, but that's just kind of like go on with the shirt. I'll do one better. I will do that after the show. All right, I'll do that. I'll make that part of my last one if you do something like that. That's cool. We need something new. All right, so let's not drag on the shirt this thing. Let's find something else. Come on, get your minds. You had a week to think about this.
Mind Freak, I'm giving it to you, man.
Guys,
I don't know.
Hey, maybe our producer could jump on here. Maybe he could throw something in there. I don't know. These guys are killing me.
I mean, he had the great one earlier. Go to a live event wearing the Carmella shirt.
And joining the show is our producer. That would have to come
at some point, yeah. But of course, wouldn't be an immediate thing to do. I still think
it's got to, yeah. It has to be something immediate.
Yeah, something immediate would. I love the Street Corner punishments where you got to stand out there with a sign promoting something that you don't like promoting. Doesn't have to be Carmella specifically, but
Okay, so to understand, there are certain restrictions. One of them being I actually have a kid and I have a job that's local. That requires that a certain
Okay.
Right?
So then you're gonna have to come down to us to do it.
Well, it's more like go up there because that's where all you guys live.
Yeah.
I think you might have to do something along the Triple H Undertaker match at Melbourne since you're so against this happening.
Okay, now we've got something going on there. Okay, where can we go from there?
I don't know. I don't know if they haven't posted any shirts or anything with that yet.
No.
No, I don't think so because it's not that big of a pay-per-view.
Man, I don't know. We need to go around that route because I know how much you hate having these legends coming back to wrestling.
I have no problem with legends coming back to wrestling. I have a problem, with legends
Undertaker.
I have a problem with legends headlining a pay-per-view match because they're desperate for ratings on it. That's what I have a problem with. And I don't want to see my image of these guys in their prime kicking each other's butt being a couple old men wrestling. I mean, come on, man. No one wants to see saggy bodies. Okay, let's go. But you go. All right, so from that, where can we go from there, dude? I mean, you've got two really good characters that have been in here through a number of years. What's the one thing you guys are going to have me do for that review?
Hey, we're going to throw an Australia thing in there. Let's just make him eat a freaking jar of Vegemite on cast because that stuff is horrendous.
Is it low in sugar? Because I am a type 2 diabetic. All right? We're not trying to kill myself live on TV, okay? That would not be good.
We can look that up. We can find out if there's one that's
I mean,
you think Vegemite?
I can't think of anything since we came up with this last punishment, so I'm going to leave it up to Twitter.
You know what? I say that's a good call.
I think it's a great idea.
All right, so everybody who's watching the show, we'll put Twitter on blast too. You guys got to come up with what's going to happen to Masonic Vader if he loses this pay-per-view. So far, I mean, we've got Vegemite. Something associated with Triple H and Undertaker. I don't know. But whatever you guys come up with, Twitter, it is your call. And as I have proven myself already, if I lose, I step up to the plate. And I will take it. So,
nothing that's in danger of hurting anybody. That's not what we're looking for.
yeah, or actually trying to humiliate to a point where if someone did see this, my job is at risk. Let's just kind of remember this, all right? Let's keep
that's
it.
Why there's nothing wrong with standing out there with a sign saying honk if you like Carmella or something. But
don't you usually don't go on the show? Aren't you just like in the background or something? What's going on here? All right, so Twitter, you guys have it. Try to send us your tweets back. We'll send that out to later on tonight or maybe first thing in the morning. Let us know what Masonic Vader, what happens to me if I do not pull it off. Of course, it's not going to happen, so don't think too hard, guys. I want you to save that for the next live cast. I think someone's in jeopardy, and I don't think it's the bearded guru. I think the guy who talks a lot of smack's in trouble.
I mean, this is Malice Smack Talk. What else are we supposed to do?
I ain't gonna lie though.
And
dude.
if we go the Vegemite route, it is a spread that is low in energy with 1 teaspoon providing less than 50 kilojoules and containing 1.5 grams of protein, no fat, and no added sugar. But it tastes horrendous. So.
Well, because there's no added sugar. Welcome to my world, buddy. All right. I ain't gonna lie. I am rooting for Marty to lose though, because seriously, I want to see revival and a muffin top.
It's gonna be heartbreaking. It's gonna be heartbreaking him to tweet the Miz.
Halfway during the show, it's gonna rip. It's gonna be like Hulk Hogan. He's gonna be hulking out, but it's gonna start ripping from the bottom up.
Or Terry Crews. Wait, you can make a shirt all buttons popped out. Trick is making them not pop.
Yeah, no, it's not going to rip from up here either. It's going to rip from the bottom up from where the gut starts.
Say yeah.
Fantastic.
You might as well start singing that song, baby. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, so hey, Mind Freak, where can we follow you, sir?
Follow me on Twitter at MindFreakMLG. You can also follow me on Instagram at just_mindfreak and right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/btbmindfreak.
Awesome. Marty, the bearded
right.
guru.
You can find me at Twitter, A Bearded Master. You can also find me at Boot to the Face, which is my other wrestling podcast I do throughout the week. So it's another weekly wrestling show that you guys like listening to wrestling. We love talking wrestling. Try to hit some different topics than what we talk about here on Malice Smack Talk. Try to expand a little bit further and have some other wrestling involvement and other topics that we hit. Come and listen to that as well. But join us. But follow me, Boot to the Face, or at A Bearded Master. Works follow both and talking wrestling.
Awesome. Of course, if I've got this right, over my left shoulder, is that right? Yeah, right there. Follow all those guys there. That's all good stuff right there. You can follow me at Masonic Vader or Masonic Vader 71. But like I always like to PlayStation Network. But like I always say, I care more about this show than my own personal Twitter pages. So follow the show. Check us out on YouTube. Please comment on our videos, like us, tell us what you like about it, what you don't like about it, tell your friends about us. We really do appreciate everyone who's watched our show tonight. We appreciate the new fans we got, or the new likes, followers we got with Twitter this week. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast, because as you can tell, this was probably one of our funner ones we've had in a long time. And we're cutting that midnight hour. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We will talk to you very soon, right after Hell in Cell, with our follow-up. And guys, enjoy the weekend. And as we always go out with that 1, 2, 3. That last
Botch.
It's stuck.
Botch.
It's stuck.
Support us, small streamers,
that
because we
was-
need to get a new bell.
It was almost as bad as the Montreal screw job.
We love you guys. Have a good night, guys. Take care.